We could go into a hyperinflation on the currency that's already out there and then have the Fed controlling the value for a minute of the CBDCs. So people go, oh, well, look at this is really bad, but this is staying more stable. And I think that's really what's very, very likely to happen to get you to participate voluntarily. That, frankly, makes having physical gold and silver outside of that system critically important, because if you have everything inside of their system that they have their finger on 24/7 and can dictate everything about it.
Governments can manipulate the gold market in order to benefit themselves. This is according to Lynette Zang, the chief market analyst at ITM Trading. Lynette believes that if there is a period of hyperinflation, when money loses its value rapidly, the Federal Reserve may take temporary control of central bank digital currencies. This could create the appearance of stability compared to traditional currency. However, Lynette warns that this approach could have risks. To protect against such risks, she emphasizes the importance of owning physical gold and silver that the government does not control. Lynette also mentions historical examples where governments have seized gold. She explains that gold is widely recognized as a way to preserve purchasing power, which is why central banks often hold it. Lynette raises concerns about the possibility of a government offering extra money for gold in the market to encourage people to sell, only to later decrease its value significantly. To safeguard one's wealth, Lynette recommends owning physical gold and silver outside of government-controlled systems, such as an individual retirement account. This is because physical assets are not subject to government confiscation or manipulation. In extreme circumstances, governments have resorted to drastic measures such as asset confiscation or excessive money printing, which can lead to hyperinflation. We will now bring you clips from Lynette Zang. But wait, there's more. To stay updated with all our future uploads, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. Thank you, and enjoy the video.
I think everybody knows that when I'm making choices, because there isn't anybody out there that can guarantee that they won't do an overt confiscation of gold. I mean, there's lots of historic precedents. There's even current in different countries that are confiscating gold right now because gold holds your purchasing power, which is why all the central banks, or most of the central banks, are accumulating it. So personally, for my choices, and also because of my Uncle Al, who in 1964 had 2 safes full of pre-33 coins when it was illegal to hold more than 5 ounces except in that way, right? So I have some serious concerns because most people that own gold own it inside of an IRA. And it's very, very easy if they were to do an overt confiscation to do a big sweep of the IRAs. Now, they're not going to want you to complain. And since they know that they're destroying the fiat money system, so what if they pay you even a bonus to what the manipulated spot market looks like? Just like they did in 33, and then boom, it gets revalued, and what are you left with? You think you've got gold, but if you don't hold it, you don't own it, and your perception is irrelevant in those kind of circumstances, and certainly in a court of law. So I want the kind of gold that you cannot hold inside of an IRA because there is clear past and current precedents for an overt confiscation. And let's face it, desperate governments do desperate things. I mean, right now, there are a lot of dealers that are out there. But, what I think is really important, places that you can convert. I mean, you can convert gold and silver at pawn shops, jewelry stores, liquidation, smelters. But frankly, the best way to do it is to establish a relationship with a reputable dealer like ITM, who's been around since 95, has long-term relationships with wholesalers. You're going to end up better off. You're going to end up getting more of whatever the current currency is because of the way that our network is established. And we've proven ourselves. So what you would do is based upon your strategy, which you can set up a call in Calendly so that you understand what the strategy is based on your goals, based on your current income needs, right? Then you would simply call ITM as an example and say, okay, this is what I need. You'd send it back through. It gets liquidated, it gets deposited in whatever the current fiat currency is, and that's how you do it. Easy peasy.
According to Lynette, the current system is designed to support the union and the currency union by providing a stable and predictable monetary policy. The reason behind this belief is that people generally trust the money issued by the government. This is because governments have a long history of issuing money and backing it with their full faith and credit. Lynette points out that central banks around the world are buying gold at unprecedented levels because they are aware that the fiat money system is nearing its end, and they are trying to transition into a new system. While Lynette hopes for a more fair system and even a revolution, she warns of a potential future where a full surveillance system controls every aspect of our lives if we become completely dependent on it. Apart from gold and silver, Lynette advises focusing on basic necessities like food, water, energy, security, community, and shelter. Let's get back to the interview.
And yet, when it came down to the bottom line, it was definitely supportive of the union and even the currency union. So for me, that was a normalcy bias because when they set up the system, they knew many things, but they knew two key things. Number one, people marry the legal money of the state. And number two, not one man in a million understands inflation. And that's how they've been able to take advantage of us. So understanding that that's where they are, and the only thing, we are at the end of this currency's life cycle, period, end of discussion. The only thing that can protect you from it is to be secure in the whole mantra, but you gotta have this. That's why you see on a global basis, central banks buying gold hand over fist at the highest levels ever, because they absolutely know that they're destroying the last little bit of whatever happens to be in their fiat money and trying to transition us into a new system, whether or not that's going to work. I don't know. I hope it doesn't. I hope we have that revolution so that we can have a more fair system, because the system that they have in mind for us is a full surveillance system where they control, if you are completely dependent on that system, they can control every single aspect of your life. And look at where they've taken us to so far. They've done such a great job for themselves, but not for you and me. And you might have seen that in May, Turkey sold a bunch of gold. And so you could say, oh, well, why did Turkey sell the gold? Because this is your savings, right? This ensures your wealth preservation and your purchasing power. It has for thousands of years. And so what you would have also noticed if you looked at the report is that China and India and a number of other countries added too. And when Turkey had to sell off, it was to be able to buy things. It was their savings that were able to buy things that they needed. So yes, 100%. It's just like if you're in an airplane and you're going down and the oxygen mask comes down. What do? You're supposed to put that on first, and then you can help the child next to you, even though you would give up your life for that child. Right? So yes, that's why you get your wealth preserved and your ability to purchase, short barter, you get that done first. Then that's your oxygen mask. Then you can do everything else. And don't wait, because we are running out of time. I can't tell you exactly the moment. I'm not going to know it before you or anybody else.
Governments have the power to manipulate the gold market for their own benefit. This could lead to increased volatility in the gold market, as well as potential risks for investors. For example, governments could confiscate gold from citizens or they could devalue gold by printing more money. To mitigate these risks, it is important to own physical gold and silver that are not under government control. What are your thoughts on the risks of government manipulation of the gold market? Do you agree with Lynette's point of view? Please leave your comments and observations in the comments section below. Also, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications to stay up to date on our latest videos on silver, gold, and copper. Thanks for watching.